What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of NATAL Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be talking about Venus in the 12th house, and I'm going to provide some insights for anyone who has this position, experienced the transit, to help them along their journey. So, let's get into it. Now, if you've never seen any of my videos on Venus in the 12th, click the description below and check out some of those videos to really get so you get my perspective on this position. So it's a very interesting one. And where I want to first start off is saying that I, your boy Gemini Brown, is a holder of this position. So to some extent, especially for all 12 house people, it's the most misunderstood house in astrology. And the truth of the matter is, no one is going to be able to understand that house more than the person with that position. Okay. So this particular position has been one where I've connected with countless people with this position and, really gotten a great understanding from that side and from, my own perspective with it. So like I said, check out those videos, but it can be a very interesting position to have natally or via transit. Okay. Venus, the planet of love, relationships, creativity, how we're relating towards others, dealing with things like resources, our aesthetical impulses, and very much so our self-worth on a lot of levels too, is exalted in the sign of Pisces and within the 12th house, which is naturally ruled by Pisces. So this is a rather comfortable position for Venus, but because it is the 12th house, its manifestations may not necessarily, for the holder of the position, seem as fruitful as what it entails. All right? In a karmic sense, if you've been born with this position, looking at life in evolutionary terms, you've exhausted or mastered this particular way of being, and it is gone here to be liberated. And then within its exaltation, you are being actually granted a very spiritual perspective of love. Right now, with this position, because the 12th house deals with extremes. And the best way I can explain is that when we're dealing with love, right, the highest potential is understanding the oneness and the love that radiates from that understanding that, man, through the differences, we are actually all still the same. What is actually tricky about it is because it all depends on how you're perceiving things. So connected to third eye, crown, all of that. Also your astral life. And people with this position tend to have a great astral life. Your dreams are, you're doing a lot of work in the astrals, and your dreams are extremely prophetic or revealing. And this is a position of artists, and just creating this contrast between that astral realm and creativity. We don't realize it, but then when you become conscious in your astral projections, you realize the work that you do there, what you're creating above is, manifesting below. It's just a matter of rediscovering or locating it. If that makes sense, okay? And a lot of times it's like people with the artists of the Venus in the 12th, or whoever, the channels, you're all personal channels. You're given these insights. So like in the terms of like music, man, like, those songs are given, they come from a place. And the more you grow with this position, the more you're able to, and you clear up the channel, the more it's easier to just grab it and know what to do with it. So a person may come right out of bed, remember a dream, and translate that into a song, translate it into a story, whatever. That is the beauty of the position. That's the subtleness of it. So you really do want to be in love with your dream life to a degree. to a degree, not too much. Now you don't want to get too much in that extreme, but you do want to develop this beautiful imagination that comes with this position. Now, for many, they tend to, this imagination goes towards like dreaming of an ideal mate and all of that, which is so comforting and, you know, is beautiful. At the same time, comes to my first big thing I want you guys to keep with this. One of the insights I'm sharing here is that's helped me immensely. I feel like making this position consciously effective and healthy is one, respecting the reality of Venus things. And I say that in a lot of ways. The first way, I'll start with relationship. This can be translated as having realistic expectations. Okay? So people with Venus in the 12 tend to have high standards. In a very simple sense, because you know yourself at a soul level, you want to know someone else at that level. But everyone isn't in tune like that. So where it balances out is where you're able to understand or meet others where they're at, right? So where I'm getting at is that every person with this position, even if you having a transit and you're going through, you know, wanting to attract something, you have to acknowledge where your expectations may not be realistic or actually what you need. So there's another theme with this that deals with letting go and acceptance. So I find that establishing realistic expectations or understanding of how the dynamics go, not what you want it to be, allows one to accept what is going on or what has been attracted, okay, and know how to navigate it. Where you want to refrain from is dependence on others. And this could be in a multitude of ways. So I give an example. If this is Venus in the 12th connected to homely signs of Cancer, let's say Taurus here, okay, maybe even in Virgo here, and you'll want to develop a real independence or self-love, however you really look at it, because depending on what the sign is, how it's aspected and everything, what's going to lead towards self-love is work. It's work on yourself, which forces you to end partnerships or feel isolated in a sense because you're marching to a beat of a different drum. The problem really occurs here when we're not letting go. And mind you, I'll give you a great example for myself. It's something that I'm like a lot like getting better at. So as I get older, and seeing how the world's changed, I'm like, man, I never want to be those people who do that thing. Like, yo, I haven't seen this person in a while. We see each other and like, yo, we should hang out. If you say that shit to me, I'm going to follow up with you. It's just how I am. And, you know, especially if you're coming from a place of like, yeah, I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to get together or catch up or whatever. But as I've gotten older, and so I've been that person that is checked on others or you know, kind of held others towards that thing, and then that's where you realize people be on some bullshit. People be on some bullshit. So a freeing thing for me is like, all right, you know, spiritually, it's like because I've continually ascended, I've been able to attract people who are continuously at different vibrations of the ascension. So you kind of are able to understand or accept, oh, okay, this partnership or this thing is not anything what it was because I don't vibrate like that anymore. So I really want whoever's out there watching to, keep it in mind. So I'm gonna get to another point that I want to make with this video, and it is, something that I find I have to tell people often with this. If you have been the one being heartbroken, or like, let's just say broken up with, or things of that nature, the person was, in certain times, that occurs because you were supposed to do that, and there was a time in which you didn't let go. Because the chances are with this position is this person is first conscious of like, okay, I think this is not working out, or I think this is, reached this point. But sometimes there's a hold on, and from there, it eventually like the law still has to get carried out, but then it gets carried out on you, and you feel all types of ways. So within, what I'm getting at here is that a lot of times others will attract you, the person with the position, or even in the transit, will attract people in which you're, God, I hope this sounds right, but you're meant to like, okay, this was nice, but it's not working out. Like, kind of, as we say on my side, dub them. Like that's actually what is meant to happen. And it's because we're all being used here. And I guess the correct way to say it is that you're being used to carry out karma, in the sense, for others. Now it's just a thing where it's like, I wonder, it's like, damn, this doesn't work out. But this is where Venus in 12 gets fucked up. It's like, damn, but this is nice. It's a good interaction. It's not nothing. Why do I feel this way? It just is what it is. If and then going back, if you wait too long, that's where shit goes awry. So keep it in mind, you are sometimes meant to carry out karma, in the sense of you are meant to end things. And then the more karmic the relationship is, or especially, like in a past life tense, it's meant to end with understanding. Next thing I want to say with this position, what I find is that a lot of people's possession definitely identify as old souls. And in a more complex way, y'all, the whole chart is working together, but we exist in different ways, many different ways with it. So in a sense, with your Venus in the 12th, your Venus in the 12th is home. It's like if we're playing like some type of game, it's in the home position. Now it's just time for liberation and understanding and all of that. So in a sense of, if life is evolution, and around that wheel is evolution, in a social sense, Venus in the 12th, relationship wise, now this is going to be, for the most part, I'll explain the next part, is far superior or advanced socially than average people. And keep in mind, if your Venus is in Libra in the 7th, or Venus is in a really good position, you're going to display really good social qualities, so, or whatever. But what I find, Venus in the 12th may attract people. It's like, okay, this, that, and it's cool, but there is just something wildly missing. And towards the person, it'll, maybe depending on the sign, it'll be something important to that. So it's like, maybe they have no charisma, or for Scorpios, like the sex game is trash. For an Aquarius or a Capricorn, it's like person is broke, right? But then there are other good qualities. In a weird way, because you're advanced, you are teaching. So communication of your needs in particular partnerships, and this is the Venus part. Remember, it's not what you say, but how you say it. So if you may have a demanding position with this, it may come out not the right way, or it may come out as you're critical, okay? Or others, if it's more timid, you just don't say anything. But communication or a confrontation of the person's lesser qualities or problem qualities, it must be confronted. Then I just really want to say with that, for myself, I just accept. I accept people are who they are, and as a result, the women I love and attracted to me, they know how to carry a conversation. And for fellas out there, this is just me. I could know rather it's all an energy exchange. So I think due to a lot of dynamics and how things are, a majority of people are just lazy communicative wise. So if you are a communicative person, accept that not everyone is that way and appreciate the people who are. Yeah. So, like I said, I just accept that I may consider in this day and age, people's social skills are really, really not good. And the next part I wanted to say, I'm glad I didn't forget this, is that for certain people with Venus in the 12th, and this stems back to our initial thing about unrealistic expectation, there may be something that you have to announce that you don't do good connected to this position. So, for example, I'm using this one because I've seen it the most. Scorpio, Venus in the 12th of Scorpio, the karmic residue of this sign tends to be that the person is lacking certain, they are actually lacking certain relationship skills. So they may be not, they may want a certain type of intimacy, but they are unconscious as towards what they do to prevent that. And let's say your Venus is, that Venus aspect wise is like squaring something. It's even a little bit more apparent. It all depends, but that is something to be mindful. I guess to use another example, like a Venus in Leo may not in the 12th house may not be as confident. So they may be looking for someone confident, but they don't have enough confidence to they want to be approached, but they should be approaching. Or it's a weird house, man. And I'll give another one. This could be for any Venus, but in this example, it's just a matter of just being I call it awkward. There are certain dynamics, and this applies because I am who I am. I know how to do small talk, and I understand its place, and I accept its place of it. And one thing consciously, my mom, I feel like, okay, I definitely admire that about my mom. My mom is a great small talker. She's a great small talker. She got Sun conjunct Venus. She's a great small talker or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I understand its purposes, but that could definitely be a blind spot for a Venus in the 12th. Not willing or naturally open towards certain expected things, social exchanges and things like that. All right, so let all this mull through. All right, so that's all I got. It's Libra season. Venus is in Libra. Hope you guys are enjoying. Shout out to all my Venus in the 12 people. If you need a reading, consultation, holla at me. Send me an email. Check out my book, Astrology in the Matrix. Till next time, peace.